Welcome to the Pre-Snap Podcast presented by LineStar, your top 5 player picks on Underdog Fantasy for Week 7 in the NFL. Alongside my co-host, Tyler Wiemann, I am Shannon Sommerville. Tyler, last week we were 3-2. It was a crazy week. It was the week of Friday the 13th. It's spooky season. Things getting weird in the NFL. And on this week, we've got 6 teams on a bye, so less games to choose from. But I like our picks for today. We've got 5 really great props for you guys that are available on Underdog Fantasy. If you don't already have Underdog Fantasy, you got to download it and use the promo code LineStar when you do. You'll get up to a $500 deposit match, which is for a limited time only. So you got to make sure you take advantage and use that promo code LineStar. So we got to keep it rolling here. Week 7, Tyler. Spooky season is here. Have you figured out a Halloween costume yet?
Yeah, got to be Daddy Pig.
Oh, that's right.
Peppa it's with Olivia's favorite show. I got to be Daddy Pig. Make it easy.
I'm still working on costume ideas. We still got a couple weeks, though. We got a couple weeks. I got time to decide. So, all right. Now let's get into it. If you haven't already checked out the LineStar app, go ahead and do so. LineStarApp.com. We're using the PropsAI tool to help us find the best value on Underdog Fantasy, so make sure to check it out there. All right, let's get to our props. We're going to go 3 LineStar props, and then Tyler and I are each going to pick our favorite props on Underdog Fantasy. All right, first pick, we're going to Arrowhead for the AFC West battle between the Chargers and the Chiefs. And we're going with Chiefs rookie wide receiver Rashee Rice, over 35.5 receiving yards. That is minus 128 in your sports books. Rice averaging 40.8 receiving yards per game. And this is an excellent spot for Rice because he's going up against the Chargers, who rank 27th in defensive EPA, which basically just measures defensive success rate. And they're 21st in pass defense DVOA. So he's in a good spot. And also, Tyler, Rice is one of Mahomes' favorite targets outside of Kelsey. Only 3 wide receivers have been targeted more on a per route run basis. That is Tyreek Hill, that is Brandon Ayuk, and Cooper Kupp. That's some good company to keep right there. What do you think about Rashee Rice for Week 7 here against the Chargers?
Yeah, I think Rice is, looks to be a very good wide receiver. Mahomes looks at him a ton when he's out there. And we kind of have a mini bye here. The Chiefs played on Thursday, so they get a couple extra days to be able to game plan, and maybe that means Rice snap count is going to go up again. If that does, then, this number is way too low. But even if it does not, I like the spot here. As you said, Chargers D just hasn't been good, and Rice is one of the only capable wide receivers in that wide receiver room.
Just what Andy Reid needs. More time to game plan, right? Mm-hmm. How do you feel if you're the Chargers going up against Andy Reid on extra days of game planning? It's always trouble, and especially for this Chargers team still reeling after that loss to the Cowboys. And that defense still looks pretty miserable for the Chargers in this one, so liking some plays there. All right, next up, we are going to the Steelers, who are taking on the Los Angeles Rams in LA in this one, and we're going with tight end Pat Freiermuth, over 20.5 receiving yards at minus 115. It is National Tight Ends Day after all on this Sunday. Now, he's been a little limited. He's only gone over that number once this season. He's averaging 13 receiving yards per game. He is coming off a hamstring injury, but he is healthy now. This is a good week to come back going up against the Los Angeles Rams, who rank 28th in pass defense DVOA versus opposing teams' tight ends. Tyler, what do you like about Pat Freiermuth this week?
Yeah, I like the spot. 4 of 6 tight ends versus the Rams have gone over here. And if you go into last year, Freiermuth was over in 11 of 14 games at this line. So I really like the spot. We have the same quarterback, the same offensive coordinator, the same scheme. So there's no reason that he shouldn't be in a good situation to go over this line.
Absolutely. Penn State guy. Penn State's going up against Ohio State this weekend. That's a pretty big football game. Speaking of which, make sure to check out my college football picks show. That's coming out later this week, so check in for that. Make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to the LineStar YouTube channel. We're coming out with tons of content. We got NBA coming up next week. So if you haven't already, sign up for notifications as well. Plus, your comment enters you into our comment contest, where we'll give out $50 if Tyler and I both hit our props, and one randomly selected commenter will win $200 if we hit all 5 today. So make sure you're in it to win it here. All right, let's move on to our next prop here. We're going with the NFC South matchup. We got the Bucs going up against the Falcons. We're going Bucs wide receiver Mike Evans over 56.5 receiving yards. That is minus 130 in the sports books. And Evans averaging 77 receiving yards per game. He's gone over this mark 3 of 5 games. And he has absolutely torched the Atlanta Falcons in his career. 1,317 yards, 10 touchdowns in 16 games against the Birds. Falcons do have a good secondary. However, you're talking about Mike Evans. He's a guy who's 6'5", 231 pounds. I think he's going to be a tough matchup for the Falcons in this one. What do you think here, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, he's been over in 3 of 5. And then if you go back, you did mention how he's been good against the Birds. He's been over in 5 of 6 against them. So averaging 77 yards a game. He has 8+ targets in 4 of 5 games. I really like the spot for him. And good wide receivers have done well against this Falcons team. And he definitely is a good wide receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. He should be able to, once again, have a good performance against the Falcons and add to that legacy there. All right. Next up, Tyler, you and I are going head-to-head with our picks. Who you got for Week 7?
I got Gabe Davis over 33.5 receiving yards at minus 115. 5 of 6 wide receiver 2s have gone over. Davis is averaging 56 yards per game, and he's been over in 4 of 6 himself. So not only does he have a good matchup where we've seen success from wide receivers, he also is much better than this line. So I like this spot for the over.
Tyler, this week for my pick, I am a Swiftie. Yes, I'm going with Eagles running back DeAndre Swift over 59.5 rushing yards at minus 115. Okay, I wasn't a Swiftie last week when they were playing the Jets, but I am this week because they're going up against the Miami Dolphins. Swift is averaging 75 rush yards per game. He was quiet against my Jets last week, just 18 rushing yards for him. But he has gone over this line 3 of 5 games since he's been RB1 and going up against Miami, allowing 90 rush yards per game to running backs. Now, there is some weather to keep an eye on in this one. This game of the year in Philadelphia, it's going to be pretty windy, gusts around 20 miles an hour. Well, I don't think that's going to be hugely impactful. I mean, it could, if we get some big gusts in there, it could lend itself to more of the running game in this one, which would help out some carries for DeAndre Swift in this one. Just really like his spot here. I also am waiting for his receiving yards line to come out. Hopefully they'll add that to the prop mix here as well. And I like that one as well because Miami ranks 31st in pass defense DVOA against running backs specifically. So he's in a good spot here to go over on rushing and receiving both. I like Swift's spot here. What can you say? It's a former Georgia Bulldog. Let's go.
It's no surprise you got Kelsey and Swift as your 2 calls this week.
I mean, Kelsey and Swift, it's a match made in heaven. You know, he's buying a house in Kansas City. I saw a little love nest for him and Taylor. Things are going well. It's just a good match. Kelsey, we got DeAndre Swift. What can you say? Are you buying in on the love?
How does he not already have a house in Kansas City?
Well, he has a house in Kansas City, but I guess it was if you read the gossip columns like I do, Tyler, you would know that his old house was not as protected from the public as his new house is. I guess it's a gated community, so you got to keep out the paparazzi, you know.
So that's what he's
doing. You know
All
how
right.
that goes, Tyler, right? Got to keep out
tough
paparazzi.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Make sure to tail our picks on Underdog Fantasy. If you don't have Underdog Fantasy, download the app. Use the promo code LineStar for up to $500 of your deposit match. That's a limited time only, so make sure to take advantage of that deal. Again, the promo code is LineStar. And if you haven't already, do us a huge favor. Like this video if you're enjoying our content. Subscribe to our channel and comment below. Comment enters you into our prop bets contest. So if Tyler and I both hit our picks, one randomly selected commenter will win $50. If we hit all 5, someone's winning $200. It's that easy. Just got to be in it to win it. And then let us know where you're headed in the picks this weekend. We're all trying to help each other out and beat the books this week. So let's get a winning ticket together. Good luck in all of your betting endeavors this weekend. And if you have any questions, drop them below. Good luck. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys. Good luck.